Episode 1, the official start to Attaining Spiritual Mastery. I introduced the series in Episode 0. Check that out if you haven't had a moment to start there. I've got my Luminal Mind mascots hanging out with me, and they're having a really good time. They love listening to my voice, and I hope that you do too. Okay, so what we aim to do here is open minds. I have 68 pages in this series, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. This begins our series of readings on attaining spiritual mastery. This series of posts or readings is not necessarily intended for a manual for life, but rather as systematic mental conditioning, such that you may be trained to face life as it must be faced, to steel yourself in all situations, to steel, S-T-E-E-L, to harden yourself, in other words. So as we steel yourself into all situations rather than losing your nerve. Okay, I'm going to read that again. This series of posts is not necessarily intended for a manual for life, but rather a systematic mental conditioning, such that you may be trained to face life as it must be faced, to steel, as in hardening yourself in all situations, rather than losing your nerve. By regularly reading or listening to these posts, you acclimatize your inner self to those notions, and thus render yourself more clever and prepared to seize that which you need to realize and manifest your positive dreams and desires. These readings apply to any person willing to try to attain spiritual mastery, and to any objective of theirs, provided that they are willing to follow the guidelines stated herein, while recognizing that at the same time, there are no necessarily fixed rules in life. Everything is changing all the time without end. Remember statement 1 of the first post in this series. We covered it in episode 0. Fortune favors the bold. If you wish to see your positive dreams and desires realized and manifested in your life, you must be bold. Therefore, I hope that this knowledge will equip you in being so bold. May you live a life such as what you wish for. May you be prosperous where others would have lost all. May you equip yourself for a life experience worth dying for. Precept number 1, fortune favors the bold. Number 2, now I want you to contemplate fortune favors the bold as we continue, but we're moving on to number 2, survival. In the wilderness, without any technology, you are in danger. Your survival is at risk. You need clever tactics and strategies to maintain that survival. In contrast, living in modern life is seemingly easy and without much physical peril. But that is an illusion. You are still living in the wilderness, a spiritual wilderness. In order to be spiritually protected from the various forms of danger and achieve your positive dreams, there are some things to bear in mind. We will get into all the necessary details of conduct that will avail you of safety from danger, while at the same time bringing you closer to what you desire. Spiritual conduct is a matter of vital importance. Spiritual conduct includes all of your thoughts, what you say, and how you act. Everything that you do is in fact a spiritual action. So maintaining a spiritual viewpoint with key principles will allow you to go on thriving and surviving. That is to say, growing spiritually and evolving as a being. The difference between knowing what I am about to tell you and not knowing it is like the difference between life and death. If you wish good things for yourself and those you care about, you should definitely take note of everything I'm about to put forth in this reading. Spiritual survival tactics are superior to physical survival tactics. I'm going to read it again. Spiritual survival tactics are superior to physical survival tactics. Spiritual survival is based out of love, which is openness to life experience, knowing that you will be okay no matter what happens to you. Love is acceptance of yourself and others as they are, even if you also would like to see changes in the world or simply in your own life. In a modern society, you live in civilization among other human beings. Things have progressed far enough that you no longer have a good reason for needing a weapon of any kind. Abandon guns, knives, and all such implements of death. Why, you may ask? It's simple. All actions taken in fear result in the thing you fear happening to actually manifest in some way. By trying to defend or attack with implements of death and destruction, you are acting fearfully. You will be injured, possibly killed. Then you will have no more ability to protect yourself or your loved ones any longer. Abandon fear itself and start working in love. It is as simple, subtle, and gentle as a choice. Yet to make this choice, you must foster courage in your heart. Simply choosing to start making choices out of love does not instantly make them easy. You must go through a long period of adjustment to the idea. It is a process, and the sooner you get started, the safer you will truly be. You need no weapons, but if you must use the symbol of a weapon in your methods of thinking, you have not yet abandoned fear. Abandon all ideas of trying to control and manipulate the life outside of yourself. All you have control over is yourself. Nothing more, nothing less. Precept number 3. The important elements of survival are numbered 5. Conscience/morality, care, awareness, self-control, and what you believe. The appropriateness of the order of this list is clear, as you shall see in the coming paragraphs. Principle 1. Conscience morality. Before undertaking any course of action, you must consult your conscience to see whether it is right to do or not moral. Your conscience essentially functions as the golden rule. We all know the golden rule, that you should only do to others what you would like done to yourself, and that you should not do to others what you would not like done to yourself. Okay, side tangent here. Richard thinking, Luminal Mind input. We have a diamond rule that we want to upgrade at some point, so keep that in mind. The golden rule, again, this is a side point. The golden rule only works when everyone is doing it. So we've developed a diamond rule that works regardless of if others are doing it. It works for you, others, and we'll get to that later. So back to the reading. Any action you undertake which is immoral undermines your faith in yourself and erodes your confidence, which leads to further mistakes of a greater magnitude later on. Precept number 5, which is principle 2, take care. Care, in this sense, is not compassion, not love, but rather directed attention to something and its related details. It also works inversely. By ignoring the negative, you are ensuring that more of it occurs. Care is what you're giving your energy to. This is what you're focusing upon. This is what you actually care enough about to do, to spend your time and attention on in the manifest world. What we care about on a day-to-day basis acts as a the driving force of our thoughts and actions. Therefore, care can be seen as the ultimate generator of the quality of our experience. Again, care can be seen as the ultimate generator of the quality of our experience. Without taking care, you will not know when it's an appropriate time and place to engage in a set of actions or not. Through carelessness, you endanger yourself and those you care about. Precept number 6, which is principle number 3, is awareness. Care should not only be an internal matter, it should extend to general attentiveness of your environment at all times. To be aware, you must be reasonably healthy, both in body and mind. Thus, proper spiritual conduct involves taking care over your nutrition, your personal habits, your sleep, your level of existence, and so forth. Without a sound mind and a sound body, you cannot be aware as much as you should be. Awareness itself is a skill which may be honed through practice. Noticing small details of what is going on around you is a matter of life or death, both physically and spiritually. Without choosing to be aware consciously, most of the important details of what is happening around us slip by as unnoticed into our subconscious. Without awareness, you will not be able to notice in good time whether your current course of actions has yielded undesired results or not. This means you will proceed with a set of actions unconsciously, robotically, self-assured, even if they are moral, and you have taken care in preparing yourself to do them. But life is somewhat complicated and requires you to adjust to the changing direction of events when they do not seem to turn out as you want them to. Precept number 7, which is principle number 4, self-control. Your thoughts must be your own, and not a pre-programmed set of instructions introduced to you by someone else that you are merely following. Likewise, you must always find a meek way to express your emotions. Remember the golden rule, which is why meekness is so important. Never strangle your emotions into suffocation and repression. That is not loving yourself. Find a way to express your emotions, but without rocking the boat. If you have made choices with your free will that put you into some kind of mental servitude to a person, an institution, or just a set of ideas, you need to release this attachment with your free will. Until you do, you are a slave, and that slavery means that you have no self-control, for you have willingly chosen to allow others to usurp it in your own thoughts. You cannot act completely in your own best interests, as well as the interests of those you care about, unless you choose to make yourself completely free. Precept 8, which is principle number 5, managing your beliefs. Apart from your thoughts, what you believe about yourself, what place in the universe, and about the creator of the universe are fundamentally important to you. All of these are a reflection of yourself. Without knowing who you are, what you are, where you are, and that a loving God is watching you, you are a lost soul, and every action you take reflects your search to discover just who you are. You must make it your primary goal to discover these things for yourself at any cost, provided the cost does not defy these principles I am now outlining. Believing yourself to be an ordinary person in an ordinary society is dangerous. You are not what you appear to be. You are a spiritual being living in a human body. Look in the mirror and face yourself. Look into your eyes. Examine your stare and what color it appears to be. Eyes are the window to the soul. What does the color in your eyes reflect to you? Stare deep and long. Think on this with all of your intention poured into discovering who you really are. Open your subconscious and allow every thought and feeling that arises into your mind to be respected, honored, and loved as a part of yourself. Reject nothing on the basis of what you have been taught in your past. Incorporate what you find about yourself into your belief system. Never let anyone else tell you who you are. Meekly reject it. You do not have to become defensive with them. Precept number 9. Why be moral and why use your conscience? Apart from that, morality is a reflection of whether or not you are passing the test of being a man, women included, or not. Other people will notice that you are trying to be a moral person. If they are also trying to be moral, then they will respect you as a good person. If they are dishonest and not trying to be moral, they will hate you, even if it is only secretly. But in some way, it will become clear to you. If you make the preceding 5 principles part of your everyday life, as to whether someone regards you back with love or with hatred and fear out of their own selfishness, your moral example will encourage, but not necessarily sway, others to be moral too. In employing these principles in the pursuit of your positive dreams, you will grow in happiness at overcoming difficulties and forget the danger of death. It will become easier and easier to abandon fear for you. Precept number 10. Why take care? As already explained about care, your attention to detail is of utmost importance. Sometimes what is tedious and banal is necessary in order to show care to yourself and to matters concerning others. You must be as conscious as possible of every detail that you can be, though it does not have to happen instantaneously. Take your time, work at your own pace. You will get faster and better at this as you practice it more. If you do not operate in this way, you will be in too much of a rush to take action, and you will wind up in a spiritually or physically precarious situation soon enough. Precept number 11. Why maintain an open and complete awareness? You simply cannot make choices in your best interest if you are not as fully aware of your situation as you can be. The more you know, the better your choice can become. Precept number 12. Why maintain self-control? Why not give up that self-control to someone who is wiser than yourself? If you don't maintain self-control and instead try to abdicate your self-responsibility to someone who you see as in charge of you, all you're doing is disregarding the principles as outlined above. Your responsibility to be a moral person has not changed. Yet, by following the orders of another, what you are really accomplishing is to treat life dangerously. For the moment that person makes an error for any reason, your enactment of their error becomes your own personal responsibility. You really have no choice. Maintaining self-control simply means thinking for yourself and not blindly following the leadership of others. In a sense, you are always in control. It is just a question of whether or not your choices are your own, or whether you choose not to think and instead take actions as you are commanded to do. Self-control means possessing your own wisdom, sincerity, humanity, courage, and strictness. Being wise means that you have your own experience to work from, your own knowledge, and good judgment based on all that you are. If wise, you are able to recognize changing circumstances and act expediently. Having sincerity means being free from making things appear true that are not true, free from other forms of deceit, and free from all forms of hypocrisy. When you are sincere, you do not inspire doubt in yourself and others. You are certain of the rewards and the punishments the consequences of what you are doing. Having humanity means having and showing compassion and benevolence, trying your best to be a good person. If you are humane, you love humanity, you sympathize with others, and appreciate the industry and toil of other human beings. As Plato said, be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. Having courage means having the ability to do something which frightens you, by not succumbing to the fear element of it, in engaging it with love instead, by accepting the experience and opening up to it. If you are courageous, you seize upon victory without a moment of hesitation, and that is despite all that you must consider here from what I am reading. We never said it was going to be easy. If you are not courageous, you will be unable to conquer doubts, nor to create great plans for yourself. Lastly, being strict means putting up rules for yourself, about yourself that you adhere to, which are obeyed and observed. If you are strict, that means you are in awe of yourself without becoming egotistical. Get over yourself. Just get over it. If you are strict, that means you are in awe of yourself and suffer inner punishment from deviating from your own rules. Precept number 13. Why maintain a self-created belief structure? By becoming the ultimate decider of your own beliefs, you control the organization within your mind. You also amplify your own self-control all the more. You also can more appropriately assign rank to priorities in your life. You also can regulate what you need and don't really need much better. As well, you can provision yourself according to these needs rather than settling for unnecessary wants instead. Always pursue what you really need and forsake that which you do not if your positive dreams and desires demand that of you. Weigh your dreams and desires against each other for their individual strengths. Precept number 14. The above 5 principles are absolutely necessary. No one can be a spiritual master who does not master the 5 principles outlined above. Those who do not will, sooner or later, be spiritually defeated and suffer great anguish in their life in some form or another.